the next step, now that the bedding samples have been taken, will be to take strike samples. And I want a strike sample as far out in each section. And I take the other machine screw, put the cardboard side down. You don't really have to mark these because there will be more strike samples than there will be bedding samples, so it will be clear which is which. I always start in the base and go to the treble, that way I don't get confused. I don't use sharps as my samples until I get out to the bench and I'm all set up. Then of course I have a leveling sample for each of the end sharps to hold my straight edge to do my leveling. Okay, so I've got one there. I want to have one on either side of this key step. Okay, there's going to be strike sample here, even though there isn't a bedding sample. We're going to set up two different templates, so you want two different strike samples. Okay, so I need one more. And we're all set. Okay, the next thing I need to do is I'm going to back off the buttons, let off buttons, so that the hammers of my samples block on these strings. Strike is the equivalent of, well, it is a string height sample, but it's a string height sample at the spot in which the hammer strikes the strings. Strings are not necessarily parallel to the key bed. In fact, in a healthy piano, they will rise slightly to the bridge. They may be designed to rise more in the treble, for instance, than in the tenor. So it's important to take the string height measurements in the right spot, which is strike. The hammers know where strike is, so if the key frame is in its proper position, then we will be taking the height samples at the right spot. But if we have wear marks, if you consider the wear marks to be valleys and the non-wear marks to be hills, when we go out and set up our let-off rack or the regulating rack, its straight edge, I call them templates on the regulating rack, has a straight edge, and that straight edge can't reach down into the valleys. So what we do is employ the soft pedal and move the action over so that the hills are between the strings. Okay, sample 1 requires an extra feature. The 200-gram weight sits on string number 3. Really, string number 3 tends to be flexible enough and long enough so that it makes a discernible difference and will, potentially cause a little trouble. The rest of the scale, the strings won't move significantly enough to affect our measurement. Okay, so then we take the weight, in this case WNG dip block. The hammer is blocked on the strings. I am going to turn the let-off button until it trips, and then back it up just a little and fine-tune it until there's just a little hesitation. When we're out on the bench, we want a clear spot that we're headed to. And if we have that little bit of hesitation, that is, more accurate. There it is. There it is. And please like, subscribe, or follow the link in the notes to my website.